Sawyer Sauce, Demon Hunter Bear. What's up, people? I'm gonna move into an area where it's more well lit because it'll be more well lit. Also, reasons. It's a little better. So you read the title. It ends tonight. My 2-day weekend ends tonight. It's there goes the sun. What's left of it. I'm at yet another quick trip, a different one. And we resume going back to work tomorrow. So this should be interesting, you know. I don't know. I got to play with my nephew and my nieces today at my brother's house. Come on, Pop. There we go. Oh, there we are. Much better. Yeah, Christmas break for me, I only had Christmas Day and today off. And that's only because I chose to take today off. Hi, that one guy. It's a clever screen name. It's that one guy. You know, if you actually make content, that'd be pretty creative. Be like, what's his name on YouTube? It's that one guy. We got 19 people here all of a sudden. Hope you all had a very festive and lovely Christmas with the family. Hope it all went well. I look sad, is that what you're saying? Dino's here. Yo, could I talk man to man, RQ, real quick? Go for it, Dino. Happy Christmas, Lee, 1211. Matt Nicholas, hi. What's up, party people? We got 19 people here. This is awesome. That one guy. You should stop smoking that cigarette. I know. I should also not have road rage. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee-hee for Pap. For Poppy. Ari's mystery. I always wondered when I was going to meet Ari's boyfriend. But, you know, now that you're here. Happy New Year, Matt Nicholas. You're welcome. I'm sure that won't be clipped and used against me in the near future. As if I don't have enough trolls. Whatever. It's fine. Whoa, someone has big testicles. What kind of engine you running there? I don't care. It's just a surreal feeling where it's like, you know, in my no hablo español, yeah, it's back in my drinking days, you know, they used to have a saying at the bar when they would close up and say last call, they'd be like, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Well, I saw my brother, his wife, my nephew, my nieces, had my son with me, dropped him off at my parents' house, and I'm about to go home, but I don't want to just yet. Who are you calling idle, Matt Nicholas? And technically I did just shout you out, but I'm not your idol. I should be no one's idol. You want to look up to somebody that can do local comedy, I might be your guy, but other than that, Not anyone's idle. We got 2 people here. It's funny how that counter changes. Goes up to 19 people here, 21 people here, and then it's like, 2 people here. We got 4 thumbs up. Oh look, we can stop the cap. It's a bad joke, and you already did that. I know. Anyways, spread some Christmas cheer today, even though it's the day after Christmas. Had some fun, whatnot. Thank you, Ari's Mystery. Appreciate you. I'm glad you could take a joke, man. Not a lot of people can take my jokes sometimes, but glad you're here. Appreciate you, Ari's Mystery. Shout out to Ari's Mystery. I don't know. It's just a surreal feel to know that 24 hours from now, I'll be working. Very true, Demon Hunter Bear. But at the same time, it's like, all right, I'll come straight out with it. Tonight, my son and I got Chinese food from this restaurant, literally called China. And the joke is, they're closed on Tuesdays. It's like, hey, do you know China's closed on Tuesdays? Amazon was pissed. But, went there for egg rolls and stuff. I'm sorry to hear that, Crystal Price. We all know dogs are good companions. I love dogs. I'm sorry your dog died. I truly am. But right beside my favorite Chinese restaurant, where I'm getting egg rolls with my son, is a liquor store that I've probably been in 100 times. And it's funny because it's Koreans that own the liquor store right next to a Chinese restaurant. His name is Champ. Shout out to Remembered Champ. Sure, he was a good dog. DN, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while, bro. You doing all right? Anyways, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't tempted tonight. I'm Bake Pookie. It's Ari. Oh, Ari's Mystery. Are you saying I am baked? R.I.P. Champ. Yeah. You calling me Pookie? All right. Anyway, I've been sober and clean for 11 months. Not a single drop of alcohol, not a single pill, other than an occasional Advil for a headache. But not a single puff of weed, just cigarettes and coffee. But yeah, we're all weird people. But I don't know, it was just, I was tempted. I looked at the liquor store more than once. And I'm glad my son was with me because I didn't do anything. And even after my son was with me, the thought crossed my mind. I was like, I could swing by there and grab a bottle. But that wouldn't help me at all. That would be a hindrance to my job, to my recovery, to my life, to my livelihood. Because my recovery is not dependent on my job. My job is dependent upon my recovery. Meaning, if I fall off the wagon in any way, shape, or form, I'll lose my job. I'll lose this van. I'll lose a lot. So it's worth more to me to have the incentive of restraint to stay away. Way to abstain despite the whispers, bro. You're a legend. 07. Appreciate you, Demon Hunter Bear. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it takes power away from it if I talk about it. If I didn't talk about it and I let it fester and I kept that to myself, I would be tempted the same exact way again tomorrow. And tomorrow I'd be like, man, I almost fell for it yesterday, but I could probably get away with it today. No one would know. Yeah, I would know. God would know. And it's just one of those things where I have too much to lose. I drank before when I had nothing to lose. I had nothing to lose when I was a drunkard. And now that I'm sober and clean, like a new creation in Christ, I have everything to lose. And I can't falter at all. I mean, you don't think You don't think I'm tempted to go by a dispensary and get edibles? You don't think I'm tempted to chief? You don't think I'm tempted to stop by a liquor store? Well, people that are in recovery that say that, oh, I've never had to battle temptation, they're either lying or they were never addicts. Exactly, Demon Hunter Bear. Never get caught sleeping because Satan never does. Satan never has to eat either, so I still love eating and coffee and cigarettes, but I don't use them as vices, like emotional band-aids. But it's also one of those things where it was like, I was thinking about it, and then I came here to QT and got myself a hot cup of coffee, and I was like, man, I'm no different than somebody that's been sober 1 month, let alone 11. You're always one step. You're one bad choice away from making a horrible decision. And tonight I almost caught myself slipping, where I was literally thinking about it. Too long, actually. And there's that verse in the Bible that says, capture every thought. And at that moment, I remembered that. I had to capture that thought and be like, you can't. You haven't even been sober a year yet. You've got to stay ahead of that curve. And it doesn't matter if I've been sober a year or 10, I still have to know that temptation is going to come on a regular basis, probably for the rest of my life. And I hate it. Like, I absolutely hate it, because at any given point in time, I know that it doesn't matter if you're getting your 1-year chip or your 10-year chip. I'm just as weak as I'm just as susceptible to it as a guy who's been sober a week or a month. Hello, hope you had a happy Christmas and fun shopping with your kids the other day. I haven't seen you for a couple days. Glad you're on. Thank you, Michelle Mason. Glad you're on. How's your daughter Amanda doing? Did you guys do some baking? Yeah, I'm okay. It ends tonight was a joke title about how my weekend ends tonight. I'm not like suicidal or anything. It was just one of those titles. As soon as I made the title and put it up, I was like, people are probably gonna get the wrong idea on that title. James Summer. Did you have a good Xmas? I had a good Christmas. Yeah, got to spend some good time, quality time with family and whatnot. And got this lovely, check it out. Got a lovely new Carhartt beanie, which I'll wear later as it gets colder in January and all that. But it's funny how it's like, I like the 1.5-inch brim. Like most of my hats have that 1.5-inch brim. The Carhartt has like a 4-inch brim and like extra dome room. So I'm gonna look like I have like I'm smuggling a bag or something under my hat. Yeah, it's a nice beanie. They are rather warm. Sure did with my oldest Ashley as well. Thanks for asking. No problem, Michelle. I hope your Christmas is good. Same to you, James Summer. Yeah, it was, as you get older, you realize you're not nearly as materialistic. And I got what I wanted for Christmas. I got a hot meal and I got a nap. But I got them in the reverse order. I had a nap first, then came to my parents, had a hot meal. Looks like it keeps your dome toasty. Yeah, which is great because I don't really have any hair to keep the dome toasty. And my neck, surprisingly, is a little cold because yesterday morning before Christmas, check this out. I shaved the underside. I don't know if you can see that because my head's lifted up too much, but I shaved the underside of the man beard. So no more neck beard, it's just the facial beard. I don't know. I might have New Year's off. I might be working for New Year's. I'm not sure. I'm going to find out tomorrow. If I have New Year's off, that would be great. But it's also one of those things where New Year's Eve, to keep myself sober and strong, I'll probably just buy some fireworks and hang out with my son. We'll put on a show for the neighbors and stuff, you know. But I don't know. It's just a surreal feeling to know when you're like, I could be tempted at any moment and I can't be weak. And I was a little weak tonight and I thought about it for too long. And I had to catch myself and be like, there's no need to think about it that long. And I had to dash it. Howdy, Brother Bainbert. No Despair Bear in the house. What's up, bro? You doing all right? I saw your video on the mammoth thing. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby Chili's baby back ribs. Yeah, I caught the joke. It's pretty funny. I do, but I rarely use email. Yes, sir. Oh, well. And we got a house full of bears. No Despair Bear, Demon Hunter Bear, me, Bane Bear. We just need a few more bears in here. It'll be a bear fest. Yeah, it's just I don't quite know how to put into words, but it's like, okay, just to give you an idea of it, I am more comfortable sitting at a QT gas station, seatbelted into a vehicle that's not running, with a cup of coffee and a pack of cigarettes, talking to people on the internet, than I am of just going home to my roommates and stuff, because it's just not it's a good living situation. It's just not the living situation that, I don't know, I need it. It helps keep me accountable, because all of my roommates are also sober and clean, so it's good influence. I don't have to worry about yeah, spliffs are gay, cigs less so. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know, it's just one of those things where I live is nice and homey. It's warm, it's wonderful, it's comfortable and everything, but it's also just it's one of those things. I'll go home, I'll probably take a shower and just go to bed early at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock tonight, and then get up with a new fervor for life at 5 a.m. or something. Sober minded is the way to be. Very true. This is the first time I've been... Spliffs are not gay. Well, you haven't lived the life I have, James Summer. I smoked weed for 22 years. It's fun, then it's fun with problems, then it's just problems. Hit it again. I love when people have to hit the alarm, they have to hit it twice to make the horn activate. But it's also one of those things where it's like, I've smoked your body weight in weed, James. That's not a joke. Like, I was burning through a QP every 2 weeks at least. I was smoking in the morning, smoking in the afternoon, I was smoking at night. I was having whiskey with my coffee in the morning. I was sneaking off to drink at lunch. I was doing all kinds of bad things. I was a monster, to be honest. And Christ will redeem you if you call upon him. And there was a time that I had to in February. It was after I got into a good recovery program where it was residential, and I lived there for 7 months. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I've got support groups and everything. I'm back. What's up, Goat One? Or should I say Lucas? But yeah, it was just, it's been a surreal, Live Strong 69. At least you got help and didn't make excuses like so many others. You'd be surprised. Like, in my original, when I got in there, in the pre-program class, there were 23 people. Yeah, 23 people. And then by the time I graduated in August, as a 7-month program, there were only like 12 or 13 that graduated. So yeah, a lot of people find an excuse to leave. Not necessarily an excuse. Some people do have life things. They have lawyers and divorces or medical problems or whatever. I get it. But if the ones that really stick it out and make it all the way till the end, like the full 7-month program, and then are enlisted in some other support group, are the ones that are like, yeah, I take my recovery very seriously. And I, for one, take my recovery very seriously. And so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I still go to weekly meetings. I still interact with the place that gave me my sobriety. I feel that they truly are a godsend. Like you can really see God's hand working there. I'm NA 30 years, made it through my husband's passing 15 years ago. Thankful for my kids. There you go, Michelle Mason, Demon Hunter Bear. I haven't found a way to quit the Luciferian lettuce yet. Not that I partake to a heinous degree, but I probably should stop. But that's just it. That's probably the perfect time to stop, is because you don't have, like, I was an addict. Dude, I smoked weed and drank liquor and stole my son's Adderall, like, right before I went into rehab. I failed the drug test going in, and they still took me, which is grace. I do carpentry and install windows and doors, and I did a whole rehab facility, and it was an old turn-of-the-century home, so beautiful. But they all work off donations, and it opened my eyes to a lot of people's struggles. I used to be very opinionated. I get it. No despair, Bear. You got to stay positive and have good hobbies that you enjoy. I do. James, we know you love weed. I get it. I like doing stand-up comedy. I like doing live streams and being honest and real. And I have nothing, like, people are always like, why do you hide behind the name Bane Bear? Be like, people in real life know me as Bane Bear. Like, do you know that every single time I've gotten introduced to go on stage to do comedy, and I've done over like 110 open mics, I get introduced as Bane Bear. Coming up to the next stage is Bane Bear. It's literally known just as much as my real name. And see, underneath here, a little chilly. Like I just felt a gust of wind go by. I was like, oh, that's a little cold. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't even know if they're having the normal comedy thing tonight. If they are, that's great. I would probably love to go do it. But at the same time, it's at a comedy club where they serve more alcohol than food. And I don't want to be around that. And some of the people, let me tell you, truth be told, some of the people in comedy, I have mad respect for. I get along with and everything. And there's some of them that absolutely blanking hate me. Like, hate me. Not just like a little bit of dislike. Hate me. Either hate me because I change up my set constantly and I'm constantly trying new material, or they hate me because I'll get more laughs than them, or they'll hate me because I'll be so sporadic where I'll show up, I'll do comedy at every open mic for a week or two, and then I won't show up for like a month. But it's also one of those things where it's like, I've seen some of these comics. No, dude. James, I'm starting to really, like, be concerned. How concerned should I be, James? No, I do coffee. Get out in nature more. That helps me stay grounded. Very true, very true. Speaking of staying grounded, I did find that like some of these QTs have these nice little grass pastures around them. Sometimes I'll take my shoes off, well, not when it's cold in winter, but sometimes I'll take my shoes off and I will walk barefoot through the grass, like literal grounding, and just 10 minutes of doing that, and you'll be like, man, I feel so much better just literally being grounded, like just having my feet touch the earth. I love nature. I miss being in the woods during this time of year. Yeah, one of my associates actually went hunting today. He said he only saw one deer, but it was running and it wasn't worth trying to take a shot at it. And I was like, man, I want that deer jerky. But it's neither here nor there. A van just opened and a whole bunch of Mexicans hopped out like it was a clown car. It was at 5. Are there more? Oh, here we go. 6. One of them's on the phone. Anyway, I will say this. Like, God has granted me the ability to occasionally do comedy at a good, safe location where I know I'm not really tempted and everything will be okay. But for the most part, it's one of those things where it's like, I miss comedy more than I miss pills or weed or whiskey. And that's just a fact. Like, it's not just like a narcissistic addiction, but it is one of those things where you can actually feel like you make the world a better place, where you're like, hey, look, I made people laugh with an audible noise that came out of their mouth that you can measure. I'm doing something in the world. And I've cracked hundreds of jokes and entertained thousands of people. I have done so many different variations of jokes, to the point where it's like, I get bored if I use the same set of jokes more than 2 or 3 times. Like some of these comedians, I'm not saying just local, but even professional, some of these comedians, you'll see video clips of them doing the same joke here and then there and then there and then there. And it's like, can you imagine going on tour with these people and having to hear the same exact set every single night? That would just wear on me. That would feel like worse than a job. So it's also like, even in the local scene, when I first started out doing comedy, I would do a different 5 minutes every single Monday, to the point where I would strive all week to come up with new material for just the Monday open mic, so that every single Monday I would have a whole, Bears are hilarious, you're not wrong, but I strive to where I would have a brand new set of 5 minutes of humor literally every Monday. And some of those comics grew to hate me because they would be using the same jokes on Monday, and then they would go to another open mic on Tuesday, and another open mic on Wednesday, and another open mic on Thursday, and another open mic on Friday. And then the following Monday, they'd see me with a whole new set, but they'd be doing the same exact jokes. And some of them, it's like, if you say a joke that forces me to imagine you naked and in coitus, you're putting a picture in people's head. And I didn't do that. I was always trying to go for the original humor, like get a laugh, do some crowd work. You know, I did literally all kinds of stuff. I've juggled topless on stage and said that men were funnier than women. I brought a fully automatic Nerf gun on stage. I once played a rigged game of Psychic Friends. I farted into a microphone once. Okay, the last one I feel bad about because other comics had to use the mic after me. So, but yeah, I've done a variation of all different things, a lot of which is on YouTube. And there are plenty of these comics that are like, man, I don't know why I can't get traction with my Instagram and my Twitter. My Instagram and my Twitter and my YouTube. Well, maybe it's because your audience is getting tired of hearing you do the same exact jokes. Yeah, I know. I was drunk. What did you, I mean, there's no excuse, but I was drunk. And I thought, watch, I'll fart in the microphone, and then did it, and then posted it on YouTube. Yeah, Mike didn't deserve that mistreatment. Is he okay? Yeah. But his wife, Flo, was a little interrupted. I'm just glad I didn't crap my pants, to be honest. But it's like, you imagine that in the microphone, just full. That would have been horrible. So embarrassing. I would never be able to do comedy in this town ever again. Anyway. Like, there's even one comic who was like, sometimes the people, said it in an interview, but wouldn't say my name. He goes, sometimes the people that are the most cringe are the ones that are like, oh, I have a YouTube and this is going to translate straight over into stand-up comedy. Yeah, I had the YouTube first. And when I got into comedy, I had literally 200 followers. And some of them get butthurt because they've been doing comedy for 5 years and couldn't scrape together 200 followers on their best night. So it's like, yeah, every single time I do a new joke on stage, I put it on YouTube so that the joke cannot be stolen from me. It's not one of those things where people are like, oh, you're a narcissist if you have to film every single set. I don't film every single set, but I do film most of the sets because almost every single set is going to be different. You'll rarely find it on YouTube where I did the same jokes over and over and over and over and over. You're not going to find that. I hate that when you find a local comic or a professional comic that you like. You're like, oh, I'm going to go to their YouTube page and check them out. And then you go to their shorts and realize it's the same joke, just a different location. Same joke, different location. Same joke, different location. Different crowd, still getting laughs. Great. But once I've heard the joke 3-4 times, I'm like, come on, bruh. Like, I honestly can't stand using the same joke more than 3 or 4 times. And then I'm like, I gotta write new material. One of my newer ones is that I've done it on a live stream earlier, so some of you may have heard it. But the newer one before is that, so one of my friends, I was joking with him, and he's Asian, and he's like, you could come across as a little racist. And I was like, you mean racist? And he laughed at that. So if you don't, it's because you hate Asian people. And he was like, I think you are a little racist. And I said, I'll have you know, I had lunch at Taco Bell. And as we all know, only black people work at Taco Bell. Now quit your whining and let's go get some authentic Mexican from Panda Express. And that joke has not been tried yet on stage, but I'm really hoping it kills. But we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping y'all are laughing. R.I.P. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's not funny. I've seen Joe Rogan's comedy specials. I've bought his DVDs comedy specials. Like the Space Monkey one from 2009. There was one funny joke he said in there. Literally one. One funny joke, and that was during the Q&A session at the end, where he joked and someone said, hey, how did you get into comedy? He goes, I went on stage and I bombed for years. And the funniest joke he said there was, he goes, bombing on stage is like sucking 1,000 dicks in front of your mother. That was the funniest joke I've ever heard Joe Rogan ever tell. Literally. And I've seen 2 or 3 of his comedy specials. They're not funny. His newest comedy special was a disaster. Like, it's just not fun. You're worth $1 billion. You're not relatable to regular people. You're just not. Anyways, thanks for letting me vent, y'all. I appreciate it. I'm just going off on a tangent about comedy for no reason with people that will never actually see me perform. I don't know, some of the jokes I've done in the past, I was under the influence of weed and whiskey, so some of them may have been off color, but yeah, I'm trying to keep cleaner sets. I'm trying to keep like no sex jokes, nothing foul, things I can actually put on there without worrying about, did my sister see that? Did my brother see that? Did my mom see that? Did my son see that? You know, it's like, it's one of those things. And right now it's like the channel is actually, it's getting some traction. I should probably take off. Thanks, Demon Hunter, for being here. Demon Hunter Bear. At the gym and need to get rid of the stank. Yeah, you need to shower that off, okay? You need to shower that off with a double dose of soap, sir. But thank you for being here, Demon Hunter Bear. We got NDB and DHB. Anyways, it is quite an odd night. Just day after Christmas. Peace out, bud. Yeah, it's the day after Christmas. All the shops are full. There's tons of traffic. I'm still 7-8 miles from my place, so I gotta go here in a minute. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I was tempted today, and it takes the power away from it if I talk about it. So that's why I came on to talk about it. But then it turned into a tangent about my opinions of comedy, which some people can agree with or not agree with, and I don't care. But it's one of those things where it's like, ultimately the crowd decides who's funny. You know, the crowd decides. If you had to take a poll of them at the end and be like, hey, who is the funniest stand-up act tonight? Then it's up to them. But if half the crowd is the stand-up comics that are in that show that night, sometimes it's a little biased and cliquish. You never know. Anyways, I think I'm going to go to. You guys be well. And remember, do you feel loved?